Hello YouTube. This video is a long time coming. I think the first time I promised to do this was maybe 5 years ago now. We're finally here. Welcome to the Kinnikuman MGP2 training mode guide, aka how the hell do I use this game training mode? For some context, right? This game is completely in Japanese, so all the options are not very intuitive. And so a lot of people often come and ask me, how do I actually like use the training mode? How do I have infinite health? How do I reset and all that stuff, right? All these you can't even really do. But today I'll show you kind of how I use training mode. Some of the things that will be really useful for when you practice training mode on kind of like one neat video. They always like come back to whenever you need to remember all these certain things, right? So many people have asked me to like make these videos, ask me all these questions, and I will tell them, and I'm like, yeah, I'll make a video for like easy reference. But I think I've been saying this for maybe like years now at this point. And it's like putting it off. I think like in my head I always said to myself I wanted to like make more of like a translation guide first before doing like here's how you use training mode. But I'm gonna be honest, this is probably like the more important quote unquote video. So we'll just like do this first. And maybe at somewhere down the line, I'll make like a more comprehensive. Here are all the features of the training mode. But for today, I'll just basically go over like, the most important features, the one that I at least find myself using like the most often. So I guess for starters, when you get into the game, right? Training mode is the one that is like down over here. The good thing is that even though like that in Japanese, there's a bit of like the English text like in the background that says like practice, right? So you can know which one it is. It's the one that says practice over here. It's basically from arcade. It's just down 1, 2, 3. That's practice, right? And for the sake of easiness, I'm gonna go like Kinnikuman Man here. Don't mind that. This is an emulator bug that hasn't been fixed for like many years. If you're playing this like on an actual PS2, you should not see that. All right, so this is first things first when you hop on training mode, right? As usual, we'll start. We'll bring up like the menu and all that stuff. I guess like one of the first ones, like this thing that's on and off, that basically decides like if like the whole damage, combo damage, all that stuff is stayed on, right? If I turn it off, this will go like that, right? But if you're like just practicing, like there isn't really much of a reason like to turn this off, unless maybe if you want to do like a video, sometimes you might want to turn it off, right? So what are like the main settings that that I use whenever I go into training mode? These here are like always like the default. That basically almost every time I'm doing anything like on training mode, I always like do these settings, right? First things first, I go to like this setting here. This is like the fourth setting down, and this is the CPU settings, right? And this like has a lot of things which we'll get into more later. But the first one that I want to focus like hone in on is the one over here. This is like the like one if you count this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 like it's a sixth box on here, right? This is like the setting to recover or to Kemi, right? If you do like a launcher, for example, right? Opponents will just lay on the ground and then like they will get up, right? But they'll be properly like knocked down. And that's like not actually true, right? If you actually set them to like just like one to the right here, right? You can see like on my joystick I'm going to the right, right? One to the right here. This changes it from no recovery to normal recovery, right? This basically the recovery here meaning like tech rolling. So if I set them to like tech roll here, right? When I do like a launcher, for example, you can see like they will tech roll. This is really important because like a lot of characters can have kind of like a pseudo infinite if your opponent don't tech roll, but your opponent can just tech roll it, right? So always tell them like tech roll because this is a good way for you to like test if your juggle is actually real, if it actually works, if like a knockdown is tech rollable. And you can see here that an example of a knockdown that is like not tech rollable, right? Is that if I just do launch, jab 5S on whiff or whatever, they can they can tech roll. But if I just do launcher to 1-4A, they get like SKD and they can't tech roll. So it's like yay, they can't tech roll that. I know like there's a real knockdown in SKD, but that's what it is. The other like probably more important settings is down here like on like the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 like the fifth box here. This decides the training settings. Stuff like meter, like your health, your meter, all that stuff, right? What I always do is I always go from here. I go one to the right. This changes it from like your life will drain to a KO. basically, if I don't have it set like this, right? If I just like keep hitting them, they'll even like the life won't regen, and if you just keep hitting them, eventually like they'll get KO'd. But by setting that to the one to the right here, you now have infinite life. Right? If I hit them, they'll eventually refill after like on the combo ends. Which, you know, for training mode, that's pretty basic, right? Like, you do want that. Likewise, these are... This one is for meter gain, and this one is for true KKD. This one is, you know, how much meter you want. This is basically just you start at 3 bars. This means, like, you start at max, and this is just, you have infinite meter. So normally keep it at infinite. So this is always, like, you know, from, like, the first option, you go, like, right twice, or you go left once from the first option. And then likewise, this is the KKD setting, as in, you know, how many times you're allowed, like, burst. Because normally, like in a regular game, right, you're only allowed to like activate KKD once per round. And so, like in training mode, if you activate it, you can't activate it again until like you reset like the training mode. To this, now you can basically activate all you want, right? So now, like with both of these settings in there, you can see that now I have all the meter in the world. I can whiff my 5S multiple times, and my meter isn't going down because it is set at like at infinite. When I hit my opponent, eventually like their life will like refill. If I pop KKD, right, so there my KKD ends, but I can just pop again because I set it to infinite activations per round. So those are my default settings, right? So to recap, it is here like tech roll, and then this setting here to be infinite life, infinite meter, infinite like KKD activations, right? That's like the basic settings, right? You might think, fish traps, what about making the opponent block after the first hit? So I have bad news to tell you. This game does not have that. This game does not have an option that lets your opponent block after the first hit. So there isn't an option to make them go... So for example, Kinnikuman's jab, 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 right? Like the third hit isn't like a real combo, but there isn't like an option to make it so that they just, like the CPU will do that. That's just like none of this game. It's a very... I guess I portrayed this earlier, that MGP2's training mode is objectively bad. Like, it has like a lot of like features that aren't in the game that even like other units of its time has. Remember, this game came out like 2008, right? Like that's super late. 2009, I think, for the PS2 release. And definitely, if you compare it to like a modern fighting game, you know, your Street Fighter 6s or whatever, it's so awful. Like this game is like so hard to go back to if you're used to a modern fighting game. But that's, you know, this is kind of what we have. This is kind of what we gotta work with, right? So what do I do if I want to test if a string is natural or if like a combo works? Well, on emulator, I will. What I normally do is that I will bind like the block button, like the player 2 block button, to my L1. Here, like, and for the record, I'm playing on stick, right? So I have like other default like stick layout. Here you can see of attack, throw, strike, block, right? You can see here I'm binding like my L1 to player 2 block. So you can see that I'm pressing L1 on my like stick, but it's holding down both my L1 and the player 2 block. And by doing this, if you set the opponent here to be player 2 control, that's just like down over here. This is like, you know, basically CPU, this is basically like, you know, training dummy, CPU, player 2, right? So if you set them like player 2 here, then, oops, set them like player 2 here, then I can press L1 to block. And so what I will do is I will do like button, and then I'll just like hold block with that finger. I can see like what's real. So that, by doing that, I can see, oh, if I'm doing right, setting man's like A is like a natural string, but A is not a natural string. Is this clunky? Yes, but it's kind of what you got, right? If you have a friend helping you, this can be like a bit easier. But otherwise, this is kind of all you got. Now, thankfully, testing if a throw is natural is a lot easier because there is an option to make the opponent always tech throws. So down here, back to dummy, right? You can set them to tech throws. Here. By doing this, you can just see that, oh, jab throw, that's not real because the opponent can tech it. Jab jab throw, that's not real because the opponent can tech it. But if I do two-way S, A660, oh, they can't tech that throw, so that's real. There are ways to, like, you know, test it like that. And we'll talk more about like some other like more specific testing like tests later. But these are probably like the main two basic ones if you want to test if you know this combos into a strike or this combos into a throw. Okay? Some of you might also like wonder, how do I reset the training mode, right? In a modern fighting game, there's like a button that can be like press to just reset. Obviously, we don't have that in the game, right? This game is way too old to have a button to reset. So there are two ways that I think most people reset in training mode, right? The way that I do it, which I will admit is probably like more clunky, is to basically go like pause, go to like this fourth setting here, go down here, right? Because this is basically like the positioning, right? When you reset like what position is, go right one and back there. It's like because like this is center, this is like opponent at the ropes, this is like opponent like at the corner. So basically from center I just go one, back, and then like exit out. And back to reset, right? So I think because like when I try to like change this like setting and change it back, the game basically thinks that the game like, just snaps it back to like your reset, right? So here I'm already like in the corner again. I'm just like doing stuff, right? Just go there, go down here, get back like that, back here. We're back here, right? The other way to do it is to basically have a move demonstration on the screen. By pressing start and you like the third option, this is like the move list, right? And then you can like press circle on any move, and that will basically display it on the screen. You can hold select triangle to basically play the demo, and then after the demo you'll go back to your reset position, right? So it can be whatever I want, and then I can press select triangle, and then like I can press like X to back it out, and that's like another way to like reset, right? So like whatever I want here, it goes like select triangle, and then like X like cross out to back out, and I'm back to like the center, right? So I know like some people prefer doing it this way. Personally, for me, I don't love it because like one, I don't like seeing like the movements on the bottom. In my stick, pressing select triangle is a little bit awkward. And I just think like personally like doing this is faster. I don't never like counted it, but I found like it's like more natural because I've done it like way longer than I've done it like the other way around. So you use whichever one works better for you. Now, here's the kicker, right? A lot of training modes, they save your settings. Not this game. If I back out, right? In other games, right? If you keep it set to like max meter, max whatever, right? When you go back into the game, normally that'll be saved. In this game, that's not how that works, right? I quit out back to like the character select, I pick the same characters again, same stage or whatever, and then let it load for a bit. Again, forgive the lack of portrait, that's an emulated glitch. And we see that, oops, we're back to 3 bars, we're back to non-regenerating life. That's how it is. That's kind of annoying part about this game. Every time you go back in the training mode, it resets all your settings. There is no way to save it. It's kind of annoying. But and this is really cool. Once you get quote unquote good at it, changing the settings isn't too bad. Like watch this, right? Just go here. I just like do that. Go here. Go back up here. Go there. One. Done. Right? That wasn't so bad. It's kind of annoying, of course, but it is what it is, right? So that's basically what you've done. Alright, let's talk about some more specific things that you might want to test for, right? Something that a lot of people might want to practice is their throw tech confirms, or like their throw crush confirm, right? This is kind of when you kind of like either tech or avoid a throw, and then punish your opponent for it. Thankfully, like the game has a pretty good way to like go about this, right? By basically going to the settings, and then going to like the setting like down here, right? Like the very last setting on like the dummy setting. You can basically have them to like no parrying, throw attacking, or parrying and throw attacking, right? So by having them parry and throw attack everything, you will see that they basically will get they will parry and throw attack everything, right? But then you can set the dummy to like always throw you. That's like down here. This is basically like them like doing nothing. This is them blocking. This is them like doing launchers. This is them doing throws. And by having them like do this, you can practice attacking the throw. And the thing is, after they take a throw, right? Like they're punishable. They can't parry your throw tech while they're like in -16. So then you can, so then if you can hit them, then you know that you got the punish. So here, there, I miss the punish, then the punish, then I got it, and then you see that only like the first two hit like is real. Then I missed it. That under I got it right, and so on and so forth. And likewise, you can also do like practice, crushing the throw, right? You can see, oh, they're throwing me. Let me do 2A 5S, right? Because when they're mid throw, they can't like parry you. You can still hit them. So you can see, oh, they're gonna throw me. Let me do 2A 5S, right? They're too slow. 2A 5S, right? So the game at least like has a pretty cool way to like you practice your throws, right? Similarly, if you want to practice like a rope bounce confirm, you can just set them to like every throw, but then have them block, and maybe it's nice to basically put them like at the ropes or the corner, right? And then you can test if a rope bounce confirm is real. For example, I'm like, I want to test if Kinnikuman 5A Kinnikubuster is real on after like a rope bounce, right? Let's try that. Let's do like a launcher or like some move like push them, like rope bounce them, say 668, and let's do like jab 5S, like works. Okay, that's cool. Or what if I do launcher jab throw? That works, right? So this is like not okay. This doesn't seem like that helpful, because for a lot of characters, rope bounce combos are like pretty simple. But this might be really helpful for characters that need like more links. For example, like there's some characters like who do combos like rope bounce, jab, launcher, right? In which case, like this might be like really handy for stuff like that, right? But I think like most of the settings, I think like there's something like other settings that are really relevant, and once you mess around with them with that a lot, you can really practice like a lot of stuff, right? For example, maybe you were like, oh, I want to see what I can get off of doing like an attack on wake up, right? You can set them to like be doing launchers, and then as usual have them throw like parry and attack everything, right? And then like just have them launch you, and then I just like time it like the launcher, and then you can see like that still hits, and you can go, okay, what do I get off of that? Like there I was too slow, but maybe like if it hits a bit later, maybe I can get a jab, right? Or maybe not, right? Some characters can. With Kinnikuman, maybe like it's a bit tight. Right? But yeah, so you can basically like be creative, right? That's how I figured out a lot of these things. There are like a lot of obviously, right? But those I think are the main ones that you should know. This setting here, which just have them to be doing nothing, blocking, launchers, throw, right? And then this setting for like tech rolling, I just like keep it here. This setting for them to be doing nothing, not teching or parrying, like parry moves, teching moves, parrying and teching moves, right? And then of course like just like have this set up like this, so that they have infinite life, infinite meter, infinite like KD evasions, right? And then besides that, it's just kind of like trying whatever you want, right? So this was maybe like a bit of more of a drier video, maybe like not super duper exciting, but hopefully that was still like really helpful for people. Hopefully this helps you kind of answer some of your questions about like the training mode. Maybe like give you like some power tips on like how to use like the training mode most effectively. Probably could have like formatted this video a bit better, but my style of videos is like very like informal, very unscripted, I guess. So hopefully like this was still really helpful. And if you have any other questions about like, on the training mode, whether like it can or can't do something, be sure to like ask it down like in the comments, right? I'll be sure to give it a look, because I don't get much comments anyways. So if you have any questions about training mode, just post that like down below, and then I'll get back to you and I'll let you know if we can do something with that, right? But otherwise, I think I covered most of it, right? So again, hope this was useful. I know this like a lot of time coming, which again I apologize for that. And I'll see you like in the next one.